So, hi guys, I'm just going to start by correcting a few other questions from homework. Okay, so you had question 4 to do, so I'm going to correct that one. And question 3 was the same as question 4, so I'll just correct one of them. So for question 4, you were asked to find the coordinates of the y-intercept of the following lines, i.e. where the lines cross the y-axis. Okay, so we know where they cross the y-axis. So if we're looking back, we know that this is our y-axis, our y-axis is here, and we know that we're crossing that anywhere along this line. So anywhere along our y-axis, our x is equal to 0. Okay, so our x is equal to 0 all along there. So we know that then to find our y-intercept, we let x equal 0. Okay, so everywhere I see x on my line, I'm going to let it equal 0. So y then is equal to 2 over 3 by x, which is now 0, minus 2. Y then is equal to 2/3 multiplied by 0 is just 0, so that's minus 2. So then it asks for the coordinates, so you have to put back into the point, so it's 0 minus 2. Okay, so hopefully that's okay. Part 2 then is the line is y is equal to 3x minus 8. So again, we're trying to find out where it crosses the y-axis. So we want y is equal to a number. So we're letting x equal 0. So we're subbing in. So y is equal to 3 by x, which we're letting equal 0, minus 8 comes down. Okay, so hopefully you can see where all that's coming from. Okay, all I've done there is sub in 0 for x. So the only thing out of that line I've changed is my x, and I've let it equal 0. So instead of my x, I put in 0. Okay, so y then is equal to 3 multiplied by 0 is just 0. So I'm left with minus 8. So my point then is my x is 0, so it's going to be 0, and my y is minus 8. So x always comes first. Okay, so part 3 then and the line is y is equal to 5 over 2 x minus 5. So again, we're still not doing the same question, so we're still trying to find the y-intercept. So we're going to let our x equal 0, and we're going to sub in. So my y comes down equals my 5 over 2 x, so instead of x now I'm putting in my 0, minus 5, minus 5. Okay, so hopefully you can see there, the only thing I've changed there is my x. So I've let my x equal 0. So tidying it up then, y is equal to 5 over 2 multiplied by 0 is just 0. So that all goes to 0, it's gone. So we're just left with minus 5. So my point then is 0 minus 5. Okay. And part 4, so the last part of that question. The line is y is equal to 2x minus 2 over 5. So again, we're going to let our x equal 0. So the only thing I'm going to change here now is my x. So y is equal to 2 by x, which is 0, minus 2 over 5. Y then is equal to 2 multiplied by 0 is 0, so it's gone, is equal to minus 2 over 5. So my point then is 0 minus 2 over 5. Okay, so I don't think that was too hard. I think that was okay. The next question then I'm going to do is question 5. Now I'm not going to draw all of them, I'm just going to draw the last 2. Okay, so I'm just going to draw out the last 2. So we had phi I is the second last one, and you know y is equal to 3 over 2 x minus 1, and the last one then is phi 1, 2, 3, y is equal to minus 5 over 2 x plus 10. Okay, so we know that the equation of a line is written y is equal to mx plus c, so we can write that under it, y is equal to mx plus c. We know that m is equal to the slope, and we know that c is equal to the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to match them up then. So y is equal to a number, x, and a number. Okay, so if I do this, so again y is equal to, so it's written as y is equal to so for the first one there, I know my slope is equal to 3 over 2. So I know the slope is equal to the rise over the run. And I know the y-intercept then, so where it cuts the y-axis is minus 1. So I know the point there is 0, minus 1. Okay, so I know that's where it cuts the y-axis. So that's where it cuts through the y-axis. So my y then is going to be equal to minus 1. And where it cuts through the y-axis, my x is always going to be 0. So same if I go over and do it with this other one here. So my slope for this one is equal to minus 5 over 2. And my point then is going to be 0, 10. Okay, so once we have the point and the slope, we can actually graph. So if I draw out my graph then, so again, because my y has to go up to 10 here, I'm only going to use 1 square this time. So it's a bit squished in there. Okay, and then we have minus 1. I might just label every second one. Okay, so still 1 box each time. Okay, so this one's -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and the same. So this is our y-axis and this is our x. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay. So if we look at I there, so our point is 0, -1, so we go to 0 on the x-axis and we go down to -1 on the y. So that's there. Okay, and then our slope is 3/2. So it's rise over run, okay? So we run across 2. So there's 1 and there's 2. So we ran across 2 and we rise up 3. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. So there's my other point there. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So I ran across 2 places. And I rose up 3 places. So hopefully you can see that there. And then I draw my line through the 2 points. So there's my line there, and I label it, so that's V, I. Okay, and then for my second point, then I go to point 0, 10. So I go to 0 on the x, and I go up to 10 on the y, so it's just there. And then my slope was -5/2. Okay, so again, I know the slope is the rise over run. Okay, so here's my point here. Rise over run. So I run across 2 places. There's 1. There's 2. So I've run across 2 places there. And because it's a minus slope, okay, so it's a minus slope, so instead of rising, I'm going down, okay, so instead of going up, I'm coming down because of the minus, so I come down 5 places, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's just there, okay. So hopefully you can see that there. There's my 2 points. So again, I use my ruler. And I join up the 2 points. And there's that line there. And that was part V1, 2, 3. So it's part 8. Okay, so I just done the 2 on the 1 graph there. Okay, so hopefully that was okay for you lads. Hopefully that explains anything that needs to be explained there, okay? So then I'm just going to have a look at question 6 then as well, okay? So question 6, you also had to graph 2 lines. Page 559. So question 6, so I then, you had the line y is equal to 3x plus 1, and for part 2 we had y is equal to 2x plus 3 . So again, we know we can write the line as y is equal to mx plus c, which is exactly what we have written there, and we know that m is equal to slope, and we know that c is equal to y-intercept. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So then if I rewrite this equation here underneath it, so y is equal to mx plus c, y is equal to mx plus c. So I've just rewritten them. So we're asked to graph both these lines and then use the graph to find the coordinates of the point where the 2 lines meet. So that means that we have to draw the 2 of them on the one graph, okay? So again, I can match these up. So y is equal to x plus a number. So I can match them up here. Yep. So for my first point there, then my slope, or my m, is equal to 3, which is the same as 3 over 1. Okay, 3 over 1 is 3, so I just write 3 over 1 to make it easier for me, because I know the slope is equal to the rise over run. Okay, and then it crosses the y-axis at 1, so I know then that my point there is 0, 1. And the same for the second line, my slope is equal to 2, which is the same as 2 over 1, so that's the rise over the run. So I'm just labeling those so it's easier for me to draw out my line afterwards. And my point then, so it cuts the y-axis at 3, so my x is 0 all the way along where it cuts the y-axis. So my point there is 0, 3. Okay, so I'm going to go on now and draw my graph. So hopefully I'll be able to use 2 this time. 1. So that's my x-axis, and this is my y. So again, my scale is really important here. So don't rush these, make sure you do them correctly. Alright, because if you're not practicing these now, lads, you're not going to go into it even start to do them. Okay, so don't be cutting yourselves and saying, I know how to do it, I won't bother drawing it out. You won't draw it out correctly in your leaving cert if you're not practicing. Okay, so if I draw my first line then, so again I always use different colours when I'm drawing the same lines on the same graph, just to help me and the examiner to see what I'm doing, okay? So my point there for the first line is 0, 1, so 0 on the x-axis and I go up to 1 on the y. So again, my slope is 3 over 1, so I rise up 3 places and I run across 1. Okay, so I run across 1 place. So it doesn't matter which way you do, it should end up with the same answer. And I rise up 3. Here's 1, 2, so some of you won't have to draw it out. 3, you'll be able to count across and count up. So that's just to help. So then I just draw a line between those 2 points. So that's my line I. So my second line then, blue. So my point is 0, 3. So 0 on the x-axis, and I go up to 3 on the y. And then my slope is 2 over 1. So I run across 1 place, and I rise up 2. So there's my other point. And I join them up. Okay, so there's my second point, and I label that, so I'm labeling it down there at the bottom. And then the question asks, using your graph, find the coordinates at where the 2 points meet. So where do they meet? Saying about there. So on my graph that is 2.5 and 7.5. Okay, so that's the point. So it's 2.5 and 7.5, so it's a bit small there. So 2.5 and 7.5 is where they intersect, okay? So hopefully y'all got in and around those points, okay? So hopefully we all got something similar. Okay. It's kind of intersect even a little bit before that, so you might got a little smaller value there, okay? So moving on to what we're going to do then today. So today we are looking at equations. Sorry, we've already done equations. So today then we're looking at finding the equation of a line. Okay, so today we're looking at finding the equation of a line. So I'm just going to do 2 examples and then I'm going to give you some questions to do, okay? So example 1 then. So find the equation of the line which passes through the points. So we're find the equation of a line that passes through the points through the point A, which is minus 3, 4, and has a slope of -0.5. Okay, so that's the question. So we're asked to find the equation of the line that passes through the point minus 3, 4, and has the slope of -0.5. Okay, so in the log tables then, we know that the equation of a line is y minus y1 is equal to m by x minus x1. Okay, so that's on the formula, the log tables, on page 18. Okay, so that's in your log tables on page 18. So again, you don't have to remember the formula, you just have to know how to use it. Okay, so we're given the point there minus 3, 4. So again, I always do is I always label my point x and y. So I can see by looking at my equation there, I have an x and a y. So it's even when we have an x and a y, right, and it's equation of line, it's always the ones we're filling in for. So we're always filling in for the ones. Okay, and we have the slope. So if we're subbing in then, so we have y minus y1, so what's my y1? It's 4, so instead of y1, I'm putting in my 4, equals, m is my slope, so my slope is -0.5, so instead of my m, I'm putting in -0.5, open up my bracket, x minus x1, so my x1 is -3, and I close my bracket. Okay, so I'm going to tidy up this little bit here first. So my y then, -4, is equal to -0.5 by x, minus by minus is a plus, and there's like a little 1 there, so it's just 3. And close my bracket. Okay, now I don't really like working with fractions, so I'm going to multiply everything across by 2. And I do it to both sides. So I multiply everything across by 2. Okay, so 2 by my y is 2y, minus 2 by my 4 is 8, is equal to, and then this half is multiplied into all of this. So 2 multiplied by a half, it's -1. Okay, because it's a -1/2. So 2 multiplied by -1/2 is -1. So we're left with x plus 3. Okay, so if I get rid of these brackets, then I want to multiply that out. So 2y minus 8 is equal to -1 by x is -x. Minus by plus is a minus, and 3 ones is 3. Okay, so I want everything on one side. Okay, so I want everything to one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this minus x. So I'm going to add x. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm adding an x onto this, so there's no other x's there. So I'm going to be left with x plus my 2y minus my 8 is equal to minus x plus x is 0. So I'm left with -3 on that side. Now I have 2 numbers on either side, so I need to tidy that up as well. So it's -3 here, so I'm going to add 3 onto both sides. So I'm not doing anything to my x's or my y's, so x plus 2y, and then it's minus 8 plus 3 is minus 5 is equal to minus 3 plus 3 is 0. And that is all tidied up. So I bring all my terms to the left hand side. So I bring everything over to the left, and it's just equals to a 0. Oh, sorry. So you might miss the end of that. So I multiplied everything across by my 2. So 2 by y is 2y, minus 2 fours is 8, is equal to, and then minus a half multiplied by 2 is just minus 1. And I bring down my x plus 3, because this half is multiplied by everything on this side. So by multiplying in my 2 by my half, everything's getting multiplied by 2 there. So again, I just tidied it up. So I multiplied out my brackets, so my 2y minus 8 comes down, my equals comes down, minus by plus is a minus, 1 multiplied by x is just x, minus by plus is a minus, 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. So then I want all my terms to the left, so I'm going to add an x to both sides here to get rid of this here, so I want nothing left on the right hand side. So I add an x, so there's no x's on this side already, so I just add it in, so x plus my 2y plus minus my 8 is equal to minus x plus x is 0, it's gone, and my minus 3. So now the only thing I've left there that I don't want is my minus 3. I want all my terms to the left, so I'm adding 3 on to both sides then to get rid of this minus 3. So x plus my 2y minus 8 plus 3 is minus 5 equals minus 3 plus 3 is 0. And there it is, okay? So hopefully that's okay. Okay. So you might need to go back a bit on that. It's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to do one other example. So example 2 then. So we're asked to find the equation of the line that passes through the points -1, 5, and 2, 6. So find the equation that passes through those 2 points. Find the equation of the line. So this time, so the last time we used this formula, we used y minus y1 is equal to m by x minus x1. So we use this formula when we're given the slope and 1 point. So this is the formula we use when it's when we're given the slope and 1 point. And we're going to use this one now. So this time we're not given the slope, so we need to find the slope, okay? So we need to find the slope. Okay, so again, we're given 2 points. The equation to find the slope is m is equal to y2 minus y1, so we've done this all over x2 minus x1. Okay, so that's the formula to find the slope. So again, I'm going to label my points, so x1, y1, x2, y2. So we've done this already, so this is just pulling a few parts together, okay? So my slope then is equal to y2, what did I label y2? It was 6, minus y1, what did I label y1? It's 5, all over x2, what did I label x2? It's 2, minus x1, so what did I label x1? It's minus 1. Okay. So my slope then is equal to 6 take away 5 is 1 over 2 minus by minus is plus 1. Okay, so my slope then is equal to 1 over 2 plus 1 is 3. So my slope there is a third. And then the second thing I need to do is find the equation. Because we didn't know the slope, so we needed to know the slope to find the equation of the line. Okay, so we were given the 2 points, so we need to use those points to find the slope. And now we have the slope and a point, so it doesn't matter which point we pick. So we know the slope is a third. Okay, and then we just pick one of the points, so it doesn't matter which one we pick. So I'm going to pick minus 5, 1. So it doesn't matter, the equation of the line will still be the same, okay? So then our equation for the line then is y minus y1. So again, it's in the log tables, is equal to m by x minus x1. Okay, so again, I'm going to label my point. So x1, y1, and I'm subbing in. Okay, so my y stays as it is, minus y1, so what did I label y1? It was 5, is equal to my m, what's my m? It's a third. Open up my bracket, x minus x1, what's my x1? It's minus 1. Close the bracket. So I'm going to tidy this up here now. So my y then is equal to minus 5 is equal to a third by x, minus by minus is a plus 1. So I'm going to multiply everything across, that shouldn't be there. I'm going to multiply everything across then by 3 to get rid of my fraction. Okay, so I multiply across by the bottom number of my fraction there to get rid of that. So my 3 by my y is 3y. My plus by a minus is a minus, and 3 multiplied by 5 is 15, is equal to a third multiplied by 3 is just 1, and we have x plus 1. So, and by 1 is just itself. So again, we want everything, all our terms to the left hand side. So we have a plus x here. That we want to get rid of. So we're going to take away an x off both sides. So there's no x's on the left, so it's going to stay as minus x plus 3y minus 15 is equal to plus x minus x is just 0, so we're just left with 1. Again, we want to get rid of that 1, so it's plus 1, so we're going to take off 1 off both sides. We're going to have minus x plus 3y minus 15 minus 1 is minus 16 is equal to 0. So again, I don't really like this minus in front of this x. I can leave it like that, but I don't really like it. So I'm going to multiply everything across by minus 1. So minus by minus is a plus, 1 by x is just x. Plus, minus, sorry, by plus is a minus. 1 multiplied by 3y is 3y. Minus by minus is a plus. And 1 by 16 is 16. Is equal to minus 1 multiplied by 0 is just 0. And that is our equation of the line. Okay? So hopefully that's okay. So then the questions I want you to do are on page 560 and 561. So page 560 plus 561. Exercise 18.6, and I want you to do questions 2, 4, 6 and 9. Okay, so 2, 4, 6 and 9. So question 2 is just finding the equation of lines when you're given the slope and a point. Question 4 is you're given 2 points and you're to find the equation of the line, so you'll have to find the slope first and then the equation of the line. Question 6 is you're using the graph there, so the 2 points are graphed for you, or the 3 points, sorry, are graphed there for you, J, K and L, and you have to find the equation of the line using the graph. And then question 9 is you have to find the equation of the line that goes through the points A and B, and then show that it contains the point C. Okay, so they're not too difficult there. So there you go. So questions 2, 4, 6 and 9 on page 560 and 561. So again, lads, we really need to be submitting all our work. If you have any questions, you can go back on the video, or you can just ask your teacher, okay? We'll help you out if we can. But lads, it's really, really important now we're all doing all our work. Okay, there's lots of lads not doing their work, we need to be doing it, okay? You're going to be miles behind when we all come back. Thanks boys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.